Surrounded by the walls of reason, I'm trying to swim to your shore. I don't know which side of the wall I'm standing, but it's not yours, it's not yours. Though I cannot see my reflection, handing you back the key. So lock the door to my asylum. I built it just for me, just for me. Don't reach for me now, I'm too far away.
That's the way they used to spell it, but that is the same people.
Yeah.
And you get another one, you might find Aspel on it, and O'Neill. But Aspel's is the other name they went by as well.
But, you know, look, I'm just...
But that's right.
we were about to turn away, and then that... I mean, look how bright that is against all the stones.
Yeah.
There's something very spooky going on today. We were led here, Mum.
Yeah. That's a plaque that's put on that.
Yes. But the point I'm making is that we literally didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
We were about to turn around, and then that just came. So
there you go.
So you got the two sisters and probably your granddad in there as well. But the other sister, Lavina, was over at literally next door to the McDonald grave.
Probably.
It is. No one went there.
Lavina, yeah.
So.
Well, she probably.
So my great grandaunt is buried next to my great grandparents on dad's side. Weird. But yeah, it just jumps out.
Yeah. That's what that is. You're O'Neill and Archibald.
Good evening. And what is our last night? Last night on the road, Mum's road trip, which has been strangely enlightening. Got very spooky today. Probably got too involved to go into, but basically it was something where the universe does things for you. We had a conversation first thing in the morning this morning, thought nothing more of it, but by the end of the day the conversation had come to fruition with past generations not haunting us, just coming. There's comfort. It was a weird one. It's really helped. Just getting 4 days away with her, and what it's done for me actually more than anything else, and I think this is a message to give anybody who's looking after someone with dementia, Alzheimer's, or anything sort of that's remotely related to it, and it can be all sorts of different sort of degrees of that. So I don't pretend to know. But it's not the end. It really isn't. We have had so much fun, and we went back to the house my mum was born in today, and to me that was very. She found the way there. At 21, she arrived in London in a time when, remember this was in a time when in the local parks it would say no blacks, no Irish, which seems insane now, but this woman lands in the heart of Finchley, gets a job. I've got a new respect for her. I really do have a new respect for her. Don't get me wrong, there's been times in the last 4 days when I could quite happily have just driven the car into a wall, but make things fun. And it did help that she got to see one of her cousins, and then I took her down to meet one of my cousins who she's seen grow up. So and everyone was just so delighted to see her. I think that's made her feel a bit more wanted. And I think that's all we want. That's all we ever want, isn't it? All of us just want to be wanted and loved. So giving her a big hug tonight. She's crashed out. I'm going to finish the night with a very large scotch. Over and out. Morning all. I had to share this with you because it all went a bit weird last night. I got back up from from just having a drink in the bar, and so very agitated mum, very, very agitated. So demanding food, demanding why she left alone. I've only been down about 2 hours, but she was asleep when I left her. But luckily, next to the hotel was a garage, so I could nip down, got her a sandwich, brought it back up to her. She couldn't eat it, so. But then she did proceed to eat a whole box of cookies. So I knew I was in for a rough night, and she sleeps with the light on and with the TV on, which, you know, I value my sleep very much so, and I make sure the environment that I sleep in is conducive to a good sleep. And it's not good if you don't deep sleep. Just messes your head up, really messes your head up. And then this morning, wake up, very aggy this morning, very aggy. And we got a walk-in shower, which is good, because it's trying to get her to have a shower is another achievement. And that's one thing I have noticed that the Alzheimer's does, or the dementia does, is their attention to personal care is completely diminished and argumentative. And she reckons she got in the shower, but you know, the shower's running, the shower of water hitting the body is a very different sound to a shower running. So yeah, since you've been diagnosed with this, what is it like living with it? That's what I'm asking.
I get annoyed with myself because I realise I've done it before.
Yeah, have you got an excuse now? You're not as agitated as you was.
No, I thought I don't care.
Well, I think that's good. I think that's a good thing, though, isn't it? It makes life a lot easier.
I don't care. Someone else can care. See, I write things in short and things really.
Sorry?
I write things in short and that helps me as well.
Yeah. But Mum, you directed me from the centre of Dublin up to Carlock Road. So to me, that is really one middle finger up.
Well, I should have shared it.
Yeah,
I knew
I mean,
it inside out.
And coming back down here, that must have been, well, that's really shaken up the memory cells for you.
Sonny, Kevin and my dad and Petsy.
And Petsy, there's 4 of them.
4.
There you go. And you grew up with Kevin like your big brother, didn't you?
Yeah.
Which is probably why I got named Kevin.
Called you after him.
Yeah.
That is right.
Yeah. Well, you probably didn't even do it consciously.
No.
So you met Dad?
Yeah.
On holiday?
Yeah.
In England? So he was in England?
I'll tell you what happened. I wanted to go to England and your dad said, well, stay with the Halls.
Right.
So we stayed with them.
Up in Mine Place?
Yeah.
Right.
He kept out of the way because we thought he would order drinking nuisance. Three women coming over, he hadn't any time. And he went out with him and his mate. But 2 days, I think his mother, well, don't you take the girls out for a night? So he showed them around. And that's when I met him. About the second time I went out with your dad. And that was it. And then he was serving an apprenticeship. And when his apprenticeship finished, the day it finished, he got her a letter to join the army.
Which was in England?
Do his national service. Yeah.
So because he was based in England, then that really what drove your decision to come to England?
Yeah.
You can say hi now, so I've just...
Hi.
Oh, there he is.
Smile!
Smile, Maura. Yeah.
Let me be the one you always run to. Let me be the only one you call. I can build your everlasting fortress, and you can hide. Yes, you can hide. You can hide behind my wall.
Would you like to live there?
No. Suit me, imagine me living on my own there. Oh,
No, I don't.
Jesus, I'd be dead long ago. Christ almighty.
You wouldn't have to worry about Christmas, would you?
Oh, for Christ's sake. Imagine me living there in a state I am now.
Since we've had the scenery, all the repetition stopped. You're talking about different stuff. Have you not noticed that?
No.
Yeah.
Can't believe this, the beauty of this. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, it's stunning. I mean, look at this.
It's, you know what?
There's
Going
campsites
home is better than coming, because you're going to get, you can see a different angle of it.
Yeah, you
What's
see.
behind us, behold. Now, we're passing the highest peaks. It's worth even just to do that, Kevin. Just honest to God, I can't believe it. I never felt so happy as I do at the moment.
Oh, that's a lovely thing to say.
Honest to God. I feel really content in another kind of a way. I do.
End of trip. Mum dropped off. I'm outside the house. 4 days, an intense 4 days. It got better today. And one thing I have observed is that some points Mum's speech becomes very slurred. It's like she's drunk, and she behaves in a kind of not in the room. I'm sure this is of that evil thing underneath the surface called dementia that's causing it, but it can be quite sort of unnerving, because it becomes very unpredictable, and little things really wind them up. Everything's in the moment. So I mean, good example of it would be on the boat on the way back today. Do you want something to eat? No. Okay, so I got 2 teas, no, 1 tea, 1 coffee, and a scone. Come back. Why didn't I get one of them? Because you said you wanted to eat. Well, I want one. Okay, well, they're not that I want it now. And it really is almost like a toddler. It's like an 80-year-old toddler. And that'd be one sort. You just want to batter them in the face physically, but you can't. But you have to like take your 10 steps back and your 100 countdown, and then you've got and thinking, how am I going to cope with like a 4-hour drive from this? But then it changes again. So you try, and what you become then, you're policing, conversating, steering, and the repetition is beyond belief. You just wouldn't, you cannot. There is someone with no memory, no short-term memory. It's a killer, because there really isn't any engagement. You're exasperated because she'll catch you on something that you then start to explain, and then literally 2 minutes later it's exactly the same question, and you just look skyward and say, what did I do to deserve this? It really do. That was that's the hardest part, and I think I'm glad to be home. I'm so glad I'm going inside now, and my cat is going to be really pleased to see me, and I'm going to be really pleased to see her. Normally I want to throttle a little bit because she'll get in the way of me unpacking my gear, but I am going to be really pleased to see her. She is also then going to try and push me out of the bed, and so position herself so my hands on her belly for a rub. That's what Ruby does. She is another version of a narcissistic person. Cats are. If cats had thumbs, they would rule the world. And you just think, hold on, I've been dealing with a cat now for a whole week, and don't get me wrong. I feel drained. I feel emotionally empty. I really do. I do feel like, there's nothing left to give. And one of the little spark points of tonight was we just got back. And bear in mind, it's now just after 12. I got back to Mum's at 11:45. Unloaded the car. She goes, there's some posts for you. There's some posts for you to go through. I went, you are joking. She said, yeah, and she goes, no, there's some posts there. What's this all about? And it goes straight into a panic. Oh Lord, I think, give me the patience. And I think one thing I've learned, the one thing I've taken from all of this, is that I've realised now that I am a very patient man. Where did that come from? Because the impatient man on the water in a boat with his mother of 80 something. Don't. I'm gonna say goodnight. I compiling this up over the last week. It's gonna be fun, but I will wish you all good night. It's a good road trip, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I think going back is nicer than driving the other way. I don't know why, because that Point Peak is always in front.
His breathing fell to silence as he came to realize that the woman he once knew and loved was lost behind